Hello everybody, might as well go ahead and make this video. I'm already sitting here recording. Um, I thought I would just make a video today about how I have not been on social media for at least 2 months now. I'm not really counting the days, and kind of what it's like getting away from it. And I'll have to say it's not about like how it doesn't change you. It just gets you back to where you were. Saying that uh, getting off social media is good for your mental health is like saying getting off of meth is good for your dental hygiene. It's like, no, it's meth is bad for your dental hygiene, and social media is bad for our mental health. I, you know, since I've been off of it, finally, I think my mind has got back. Is not going to really see any more differences. I don't know, but I do. It has shown me that to believe that social media. I think it's probably, I don't know how much good. I'll say 10% good, 90% bad. That's the way I feel about it. So it does have some good to it. People meet that would never have met before. Uh, like-minded people. But I do think it is what is driving it. Is ultimately going to be the downfall of society. It is easy to see how it can do that now, barring some nuclear war or pandemic. I believe it will be to our demise if we don't all start, you know, seeing it for what it is, kind of similar to the way people are slowly starting to see alcohol for what it is and are, turning away from it. It's mostly the younger crowds doing that, which that's what's going to be the ones turning away from social media will be. I think the younger generation will just see uh, the older people what it's resulted in as examples of what not to do, and decide that's not what they want to do. But I'll say, first thing I noticed getting off of social media, probably the first week, I think, I started noticed more compassion for people I did not know out in public. And I think that is from, if I could have been on whatever, Instagram or scrolling Facebook for 30 minutes in the mornings and been up to here with people. Like, I've had all the bad behavior I can tolerate. People are basically, I can't think of the word, a disease on the planet. And none of us, the planet would be better off without any of us kind of mindset, because I have seen horrible behavior after horrible behavior before I go out into the world, whether it just be the Walmart or gas station or, anywhere you're going to interact with the public. So now when I leave the house, I've already got to level 7, and all it takes is for somebody to do something stupid in traffic, somebody to leave a card out at the Walmart, or see somebody arguing about nothing, or walking in there stinking, or wearing their pajamas with their honey and hung out, and whatever it might be. And now I am about ready to go insane on somebody. to where now I don't see anything before I leave the house. And before, not that long ago, I was sick with a fever and didn't leave the house at all that day. So I didn't see anything, any kind of bad behavior. I didn't, because the phone was my only way of it coming into me. So now, I couldn't leave the house, and I might be at a level 2 of irritated with people, if even that. Maybe I'm at 0. So to see the number of examples of bad behavior out in regular society, say I see 30 on Instagram or Facebook, 30 examples brings me to level 7. It's going to be hard to find 30 examples in day-to-day life, what you run into. I mean, unless you're just working customer service somewhere insane, maybe you'll see that. I guarantee you'll see that more than the average person, or maybe something like a police officer or something. I'm sure which is, said, psychologists say that is like, police officers and EMTs, that's their main patients, because they get such a skewed version of the world. All they ever see is bad. So it really brings them down. And what do we see on social media but bad after bad? And you're going to see that with 8 billion people. If you saw 15 murders a day out of 8 billion people, that's not even statistically a significant amount to even count as one. I mean, it's long ways from even counting as 1%. So, but then if we had 16 billion people, that would double. Seem like a lot. 30 murders, 15 murders seems like a lot, but it is not in the face of 8 billion people. But that's being brought to us every day. So I kind of got off track there, but I did see that there was that more compassion for people, just simply because it takes a lot more to get me to that point that I've just had it with them. Secondly, I noticed my dreams really changed pretty fast. Week or two into it, my dreams started becoming more basic. Instead of having this insane plot twist that I couldn't even believe my mind had come up with this, really made me believe that dreams come from some other source than our own mind. Because I'm like, if my life depended on coming up with this storyline that my dream had, I would just die. But night after night, it would come up with these insane nightmares, dreams, whatever. And now, still have a nightmare, but a nightmare might be a bear chasing me, whatever, just basic. I'm caught on fire. Somebody shot me with a gun, whatever. Or I might just have a dream. I had a dream not long ago of just folding the clothes. Or I might just be sitting on a bank casting a line, fishing. Pretty just basic, very basic. So I did notice that, which I'm assuming is from a calmer mind. Very much shown not much interest in kind of like constantly listening to podcasts like I normally would. If I had that dead space in my mind, my mind would start thinking about just everything negative, just extremely negative thoughts, would just, I guess you would say, intrusive thoughts. So I would just put earbuds in my ear and listen to a podcast and, say, well, at least I'm learning something instead of having these awful thoughts. And I have noticed that it has to be a very, like, they have to have a very specific guest, and I'm just like really interested in what they have to say about something before I even listen to them, because just not that much interest with it. And I'm fine with, I was chainsawing the other day for probably 3, maybe 4 hours in the woods yesterday, with nothing but earplugs in, and perfectly fine, just doing my thing and not really thinking nothing about other than which tree do I need to cut next, or how, or sometimes it's just like blank. So that has to be good. I mean, because meditation, that's what you're after. It's just like no thought. Trying to think of another. I'll say a more, just more interest in doing things. As far as I feel like I have, I do have more time, but it seems like there's definitely more time. You're not spending time on the screen. That's where I just laugh when I hear these people say, it seems like after this, say like 9/11, time just sped up and things are moving faster and whatever. And I'm like, well, studies show that even like teenagers spend on average 8 hours a day of screen time. So if you're spending 8 hours on the screen a day, and you know as well as I do, when you're just scrolling mindlessly, your brain is basically just shut off as much as, if not more than when you're sleeping. I mean, it's just, and then you get through an hour later, you wonder what even happened. You can't even remember what you saw. So of course, if half of the day is being taken from you by just staring at the screen, of course your days are going to be half the length they normally are, or seem to be half the length, and time is going to be moving at twice the speed that your perceived time is going to be twice as fast as it would be had you not wasted that, checked out for that 8 hours a day. And it doesn't seem like it at the time, because it's just little bites here and there throughout the day, but just look at your screen time and you'll be shocked. And so I do, I feel like I definitely have more time during the day, but there's also the feeling of not enough hours in the day to get done all that I want to do, because the drive to do more is definitely increased, since there's so many things I want to do, and it has increased since getting away from that, the social media. When I say away from social media, is mostly I'll still post something on Facebook, I'll post something on YouTube if you're watching this, but as far as the doom scrolling or searching out what other people are doing, none of that. No scrolling on Facebook, no scrolling on Instagram, no scrolling on YouTube Shorts. If I have something in mind, I want to know how to look up to know how to do this particular thing, how to change a tire on a lawnmower or whatever, I'll go in there and look it up and try to find it. I'll go on Facebook Marketplace, have a particular thing that I'm looking for or going to sell something, then I'll go in, but no just browsing around mindlessly in there either. And so that's what I think that it has caused the two, what I have seen stumbling around here, that the one, it is what is killing people's drive to do anything, because I don't know, I'm assuming it's because what they see, it makes you feel like everybody else is just killing it in life and you're not. So, and everything you see is so far and beyond what seems like anybody's reach. What's the use in even trying? Maybe it's that, but I do know it will kill ambition and drive to just for things you want to do in life. And I believe that is what we're seeing as, a worldwide phenomenon. And, secondly, I believe that is what is causing people to just more or less, like, you can tell, like, people just hate each other anymore. It's because all that, I mean, they have had it with humans, but then you go from like what I said, it's just the amount of bad behavior people are seeing online is giving them a skewed version of reality, and it's causing this whole us against them mentality, dividing everybody into these little groups, when it is not like that in real life. In your present moment, it is not like that whatsoever, but it is causing people to behave in a manner that it is. And so that is the main reason I'll say it's going to be, if people don't start seeing that actually it's a better life without it than with it. I can tell you that. It is a calmer mind. It is you essentially are getting back to your normal self. I can't help but think of the king on Lord of the Rings that was under the spell, that had the man whispering in his ear, the little traitor dude that kept whispering things in his ear. I kind of look at him as, as social media whispering in our ear, or showing us things that are not true. And then, if you've watched it, where Gandalf comes in and breaks the spell, and you see the king go from, where he looks like he's a 150-year-old back to his normal self within a few seconds, and then he, kicks the little traitor guy out of his kingdom. And I can say that is, you will feel, I'll say that it is not like everything is easy and bed of roses, and now I'm running around here in a field of wheat, or riding a bicycle with my legs stuck out like it's some antidepressant commercial. But it is, it's just a lot better than, I could not see myself going back to the crap. And the probably the hardest part about it is spending enough time totally off of it, not less of it, but total abstinence. I can't say the word abstinence. Can't say it. Anyway, totally off of it for a long time, at least a month. Give yourself at least a month. Never looking at it one time. I say if you look at it one time during that month, then make that your starting point again, and say, okay, well, I've only done it for 26 days, and I looked at it, so let's start over. I got 28 more days from this point, because when I tell people I am off of it, I've always heard this. Yeah, I'm not on it near as much as I used to be. Well, maybe you think that, but I guarantee you're likely on it just as much as you ever were. You're just trying to, you know, lie to yourself that you're not. And because I say that because I've done the same thing, and say that less is, a little bit of meth is not as bad as a whole lot of meth. It's still doing meth. And it's the way I look at this social media. You have to stay completely off of it, because you will have regression. You will be dying to know, when you completely stay away from it, you'll be dying to know what is going on in there. What are people, you'll feel the old FOMO hardcore for a while. You'll feel like you are missing out on the party and the news and whatever is going on with so and so. But when in reality, what you thought was going on with those people, and you thought you was getting in the know, you are not getting in the know, because you're getting a curated version of what people, news, everybody wants you to see. It's like right now, I may edit this video to cut out the ums and ahs and to, shorten it some, but I'm putting out what I want you to see. I'm trying not to edit it. Maybe just put it out whole. I'm at 21, almost 22 minutes now. So if you stayed with me this long, you're probably really interested in getting off of social media the same way I watched other people's videos that before I did it, that because I was like, man, are you really different? Well, the thing I noticed with people that were off of it, they'd said they'd been off of it for 6 months or a year or whatever, or years, was just how much life they had, in their eyes. It did not seem like they just had these dead eyes. And that was the big, it looked like you were watching a video of high school kids from the 90s, if you've ever watched those, how different they look than people from today. You can see, you can see the life in their faces, and they are not, because they did not have the social media to drag them down and just be, pulling that life force out of them. So I believe that's all I got to say. I hope to see it become a trend of people getting away from social media, because I have realized people will follow almost any trend, whether it be Tide Pods or chopping your toes off. If it's a trend, people will follow it, and I hope that this does become a trend. And then it's just people that does it just seems lame. Just seems like the people that you see somebody sitting somewhere in their car just scrolling hunched over, people just pity those people. Like, it's just, God, look at that pathetic human. Like look at how weird that looks. Kind of just like, some addict that talks to themselves. But that's enough of that, and I'll shut up. And I thank you for watching if you stay with me this long.